your hips are your power source and your stabilizer. And so I'm going to explain a little bit about what that means. So your hips are your power source. When you are getting out of a chair, okay, it's not my quads that are doing it, it's the back of my hips pushing. I'm pushing through my heels and I'm using those muscles. Now, if I don't have those muscles, what happens? You see people struggle. They're really trying to, they'll even do 2 or 3 things, right? And they're trying to get up and trying to get up. And now they are counting on their quads and they're really struggling because they don't have the power source here, okay? It's also your power source when you're climbing upstairs and downstairs. And when you're going downstairs, it's more of you're using here to lower your body, but when you're going up, you're using more here, all right? But they're your power source. They're what gets you out of a car, up out of a chair, up the stairs. If you squat down for something, you want the back of your hips to be your power source because that will protect your knees. It will also protect your back. Now, your hips are also your stabilizer. And I know a lot of people are very concerned about their core and they want very strong cores and they want, from here to here, this is what they think about. Oh, I've got to work on my core. I've got to work on my core. Well, the interesting part is the front of your hips, the hip flexors here, right? So think about it. The power's in the back. That's where all the muscles are. You don't really see any muscles in the front of the hip, right? But that's where your stabilizer is, right? Your hip flexor communicates with your abdominals to provide stability. It's a team event. And if those hip flexors aren't communicating well, if they've lost their phone number and they just can't talk to each other anymore, we're going to wreak havoc on your core function. So these will stabilize you, and they stabilize you eccentrically. We'll talk more about that next week. But what that means is when those muscles lengthen under tension or load, now they're switched on and they're providing stability. All right, so it's very important that you understand your hips are your power source. Your hips can also be part of the problem if you have chronic pain. If they're not functioning well, they can kind of feed into a problem, right? But they can also help to resolve a problem when they are optimally restored to the function they were designed to do. Okay, so that's on the hips.